Can everybody see me all right? I'm inside of my studio here in Mountain Home, Arkansas, and I'm just working on a little quick buffalo sketch. I don't know if any of you all follow me on Facebook much, but I do a lot of things to make a living here in the Ozarks. I think kind of probably have to a little bit. I work as an artist. I have my own gallery and studio, so I'm in here a lot. And that's been kind of a good thing for me a lot here lately with the coronavirus and everything, because I'll come in and I can be here and not bother anybody and nobody bothers me. And I've gotten a lot of painting done. And so that's been a good thing for me. And I don't know, maybe you have some hobbies of things that you do and interact. And I think it's so cool and so neat to see how God has blessed people with different talents. God gives each one of you a talent. And it may not be a physical talent that you can express. You know, I don't sing worth a hoot. If I started off singing, you guys I'd see a bunch of blank screens and hear a bunch of beeps already. But some of you probably sing or play beautiful instruments. You may be athletes. God has given all of us something, and it's part of our life to find that out. And I will dare say that you're not truly living. You are not truly living until you find out what that purpose is that God intended for you to be, and then you start living that purpose. When you do that, I think you're going to find great joy, great fulfillment, a wonderful sense about yourself, not an inflated ego. And, you know, one of the things that God teaches me, the more he allows me to have success in my business and the things I do, is the humility, because that can go so fast. I know situations, and I'm sure you do too, where people have been snatched from this earth, or they've had an accident or something, and it's kept them from taking away those ability to do certain things. And so I want to honor God in what I do, and so I think that's great. I heard something. I woke up this morning and I was just kind of studying a little bit and looking, and I heard some good news. Don't we need to hear good news once in a while? And the good news that I heard is that the best thing to get rid of the coronavirus is exposure to sunshine. Isn't that amazing? And I would definitely say that is true. And I want to spell sunshine, S-O-N-S-I-N-E, sunshine. We as Christians, I think, are very, we should be examples. I want to do that in my artwork. I want to be able to show people through my work that it's all because of him. You know, he has gifted me, so there in turn, I'm going to use that gift to share with others and to show him, you know, to use it as my testimony. And you need to build your story. Each one of you have a story. You need to write your story, and then you need to live your story. Living your story is just that day-to-day of who you are in Christ and what he's allowed you to do. You know, we're putting so much stake. I find it a little humorous sometimes when I watch the news here of late, and they put celebrities and they put billionaires. We used to say millionaires. That doesn't mean anything anymore, I guess. I don't know. I'm working on my second million because I had made my first one yet anyway. But you know, we put so much stock in what they have to say. You know, they had that big concert, and you know, it's like these people are just writing the final word. Well, they're not any different than you and I. They may have a little more money. They may have a little bigger audience in some ways, but they're not necessarily people that we need to be listening to. Who do we need to be listening to in times of crisis? Who has the truth? That's one of the neatest things about this entire production that we've done throughout this whole thing. Nice coyote there, Kevin. Thank you. The whole thing about this CTO live broadcast we're doing is that you're getting truth. Hopefully, people are telling you, your mentors, the people in your family, your pastors, because you're hearing a lot of stuff out there, and if we can just kind of separate, you know, the fact from the fiction and kind of get the politics out of it and just deal with the situations at hand, and we'll get through this. But we'll get through it. How we get through it is what's part of the important thing. So, you know, I just find it funny when we kind of parade these celebrities and these people around so much, and we put so much stake in what they say. You know, And I'm sure they're great people and all, but sometimes they are as lost as a goose. They just because they have great fame, they may have a bunch of money, and they may have this, that, and the other. They don't have the answers. So be careful who you follow, who you listen to, and that type of thing. I was just talking to Kevin earlier today. Where I live, it's a pretty rural area. In Arkansas, for, I don't know, I think part of it is just the lack of population we have. You know, we literally have just a little bit over 2 million people in the entire state. And up where I live in the north part of the state, it's very rural, and you know, a 10,000 size town is a big city for us. And I enjoy that. I live here on purpose. I was born and raised in this kind of an area, and I like that. But we've kind of escaped a lot of the things that I hear about on the news. And I don't want that to make me seem calloused or uncaring, but a lot of that stuff just seems like it's a world away in some ways. And yet it's also put a great burden on my heart to pray for these people and to share. And I've done a lot of Facebook stuff here of late. I've been painting a lot, I've been posting a lot, but I'm trying to share my story. Okay, I'm trying to put my my faith into my talent, and it's amazing how God has blessed in so many ways. The sales have been good. I never expected. I figured people would buy toilet paper and ammunition and milk and bread and those kind of things before they buy a piece of artwork. But it's just been I've just been humbled at some way God has been blessing for me and my family at this time. I just became a grandfather again for the second time this week. And like, what a time for a child to come into this world, but what joy and everything. And it's actually kind of needed a way, because we're all slowed down. You know, I think if anything, God's trying to give us some, get our attention here. He's saying, slow down, start your day with me, take me through the day, talk to me during the day, pray with me, let me show you the blessings I have in life for you, and share what I've done in your life with other people. And that's one of the neat things, I think, that if there's any silver lining in this whole being cooped up and not supposed to be social, you know, gatherings and that type of thing, is just the fact that we can still share our faith in so many ways. And I think God has slowed us down to allow him to speak to us. And for some of you, that may be the first time that that's ever happened in your life. Now, I think some of you, and I was looking, and we've got a lot of younger ones on the Zoom right now, and that's good. What you need to learn is how, as you grow older, I see this so much with my older teens that I mentor and all through my CTO chapter, is the shyness that comes over them and their inability to be bold. I mean, you can be bold about anything today in school, and it's almost like the school and the community will back you up. But being bold about your Christianity and the greatest thing that ever happened in your life, and man, they'll come after you. They'll shut you down. They'll make fun of you. They'll censor you. They'll do everything they can. But they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear of something that's working in your life that makes them have to see their own sin and their own selfishness and their own corrupt way in front of their face. So, you know, but to live out that Christian life. When I did this before, I talked a lot about being a superhero, kind of making that connection. And hopefully that resonated with you, how right now you've got powers because you have answers, you have truth, and you need to take that power and live it out. And like I said, you know, that, you know, it doesn't mean wearing a cape with a big emblem, you know, self-identity. It means hiding behind the cross. That's your cape, is your cross. And to know that what you are is because Jesus Christ has made that in your life and who you are, and you can share that. And you need to do that boldly. It took me a long time in my life to get to that point, but once you start doing that anymore, it's like, what have I got to lose? What do I have to lose? They're going to drag me out in the street and beat me up? Well, they used to do that to Christians in the Roman days. They'd actually crucify you. We heard a great Adrian Dupree gave an amazing Zoom the other day. He's with our CTO organization and on the board and everything. And I've met this man. He's pretty incredible You can hold him still anyway, but he's got 2 squirrels running loose in him all the time. But he's a great man of God, and he's got some wonderful things to say. And he was talking about, the crucifixions and what the cost was, and also the pain endured, and all the things about being a Christian in that day and age, and also what Christ went through in being crucified. We're so easy just to kind of run by that like the symbol of the cross. Well, that's a symbol of death. That's a symbol. It's also a symbol of resurrection. We as Christians wear that symbol, but it was it's like he made the analogy. It's like, wearing a symbol of an electric chair today or something like that, or handcuffs or whatever. So it was pretty neat. I got a lot out of it anyway. I hope you did too. But God has blessed me. I want to, I feel honor bound, if you will. He's done so much in my life. I can't keep it to myself. I need to tell people. And you need to be that today. You need to be that sunshine, SONSINE, okay? That is what will rid this virus. That's what's going to rid the virus of sin that is plaguing our earth more than coronavirus. Is that, everybody's so worried about that. What about all the people that have sin sickness and are dying every day? It's killing people faster than anything, just in various forms. Are we that worried about that? Are we trying? We have the cure. We're the doctors. We're the agents. We're the nurses. We're the healthcare workers, because we have the cure. But so many of us keep that cure bottled up, and we're shy about sharing it, or we're a little like, well, I don't know what they're going to say, or I don't want to offend anybody. Well, it's an offensive world out there. I'm sorry. We didn't ask for it to be offensive. They brought it to us, and we can either run and hide, or we can stand our ground, and not out of hate, but out of love, and share what we have in us. The verse, and Kevin, you're going to probably have to give me the exact on the address on this verse anyway, but I see it around a lot, and I hear it repeated a lot, and I'll probably get it wrong. I'm not the greatest 5-point deliverer scholar here anyway, but if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, repent, turn from their wicked ways, basically call to me, the nation that calls to me, then I will hear from them. I will answer that prayer, and I will turn them from, and heal their land. And that's a promise to God that He made to us, and it still applies today. That He wants nothing more. One of the neat things, I've got a book here. I don't know if you've ever seen this. It says, "In God We Still Trust." And it's a 365 devotional day book. And it's a lot of prayers in there from past presidents and founders of our country and nation. And these people, have you ever been to Washington, D.C.? I never thought I'd really want to visit there, but I did. And it was an amazing event, life-changing in a lot of ways. To just walk around and see how God has been represented from day one in the foundation of our country. It's written all over the walls. It's engraved in the marble. It's there. And we're fighting that hard, trying to tear all that down. But that's our foundation as a Christian nation. And that makes us who we are. And there's so many people today that are trying to tear that down. Being an American is a blessing. And I believe that. I thank God for this country. I thank God for the people who helped build this country to give me the freedoms that I have today, so I can make a living in my home and in my business with what God has blessed me with the talents that He has given me. That's for me living my dream. I work as a fly fishing guide, and I work as an artist, and God has blessed that and blessed my family, and so that's a great thing here. I'm going to, I've got my assistant, Brianna, here. She's going to follow me around with the camera a little bit. I know I didn't paint a whole lot on this particular buffalo. This is kind of a quick sketch that I'm doing here. And if one of you will respond to me on that, guess what? I'm going to send this to you, okay? I'll finish it up, and it'll be a professional. And you can take it to any coffee shop, and I bet trade it for a cup of coffee if you got $2.50 in your pocket. But no, it's going to be a good piece. I'll do a good job. But I'd love to gift one of these to somebody. So if you'll respond to me on that anyway. But I'm going to get up from my studio chair here, and Brianna, if you'll grab the camera and just follow me as we walk through the studio. Does anybody have any questions real quick as we get ready for that? I'm going to here real quick.
2 Chronicles 7:14.
That's the address on that one. I knew you'd have it, brother. I know that now.
Hey, show him that mount up there, that fiberglass mount, right behind you over your right shoulder.
Well, these are one of the things I do. I make fiberglass fish. A lot of the guys here, we're world famous. There have been more world record brown trout caught in my home river here, the White River, than anywhere else in the world by far, okay? And I actually have the world record brown trout out here. Let's go take a look at it real quick. Brianna, you just kind of be that. And Kevin, kind of chime in if she's not doing a good job. You got it on there? Okay.
What about Lake Taneycoma?
Yeah, Lake Taneycoma has the Missouri state record, but not the world record, okay? This is it right over here, and I have it in my studio, okay? And this is still the Arkansas state record. This thing is huge. I'll give you a little perspective of just how big this girl is, okay? Y'all see that? That is 40 pounds, 4 ounces. And my friend Rick Collins caught that fish. I used to guide him quite a bit, and he was a very unique, wonderful individual. It's a pretty good sized fish. Let me show you the buffalo painting here. I'm doing a little study of it. Here's the finished piece. It's a rather large painting.
Now, Duane, how long did it take you to do that painting?
I came in and started on it at 10 o'clock in the morning and probably got the final strokes in there, I don't know, 3 or 4 o'clock. I painted probably 6 hours straight through, you know, without a break anyway. It's acrylic, it dries fast, but, you know, I paint fast. I've got my 10,000 hours in, so, you know, I'm not having to think about it, I just do it.
And how much does that painting cost?
If you'd like to buy it, I sell my work. I've got galleries all over the country that have some of my pieces, and they value them at $3 a square inch. So that one comes out to be $5,250 or so. And I've already got 2 people looking pretty serious at it anyway. I just did it yesterday, but hopefully it'll sell.
6 hours roughly to paint it?
Yeah, well, a lifetime plus 6 hours.
I'm trying to encourage these kids that they need to learn to draw and paint.
Well, it's not an easy way. I did sell 3 of them yesterday, and I've sold 2 today. And again, I'm just blown away that people are buying art when you see all this craziness. I was in a shop the other day, and some woman just buying all the ammunition she could carry, you know, and I was just kind of laughing and everything. I just, you know, art is something you don't have to have. It's a luxury item, but I've got presidential candidates. I've got Hollywood superstars. I've got athletes. I've got people that mow my lawn. I've got the waitress at my place where I eat breakfast. You know, everybody, you know, what I'm getting at. I've got paintings in all kinds of price ranges, but I've got quite a following. Peter Coor's daughter, Cecilia Coors, purchased a nice piece from me. She's a really strong Christian lady. I really enjoyed, she came out and fished with me and liked my art. And, oh, I don't know. I've got, I could name a bunch of folks, but I'm not just going to do a lot of name dropping anyway. I've been blessed with selling and making a living as an artist and as a fly fishing guide. And I couldn't be happier, be honest with you, like I was saying earlier, to use the gifts that God has given you at the point where you give them back and say, you know, this is yours, bless me, but allow me to use this. I want to use this as my testimony. That's what I'm saying. Write your story, and then tell your story, and live your story. That's the best thing you can do. People will take notice of that and be excellent.
Amen.
I work very hard at being. I don't have an ego about my art. Every time I do a painting at Buffalo, I feel pretty good about it, but I want to do another one. I want to do a better one. Okay. And so I'm satisfied, but yet I'm challenged to do the next level. And so, you know, and I'm humble. I want to be humble, and I am humble. God humbles me about my work. And I'll help anybody. I teach all the time. You know, this young lady that's holding the camera, the reason she's in my studio is she's working on several pieces, and she got her a full scholarship to the Minneapolis School of Art and Design.
Close
Got
enough.
that right? Okay.
Close
And
enough.
she's going to do great in her career, and she's following her dream. So there's a lot of, you know, and so whatever your talents are, man, at some point, I think the best thing you can do is recognize that those talents are given to you by God, and He allows you to do that. So use that as your service. You know, you can tie that into your career. You can tie that into, I've done that. I've melded very wonderfully for me a life that allows me to do that. And everybody that walks in my door, come right this way. Brianna, show them this big buck I shot here. There's my ego coming through now. My Texas standards, Kevin's going to laugh anyway, but my Ozark standards, this is anyway, I stuck him with an arrow a few years ago, so I'm proud of that one. Now, what does this say here? Okay, see, this is a blessed business. It says, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Okay, that's Joshua 24:15. And it's not in big neon letters or anything like that. And it's, you know, it's not like a flashing, but it's, you know, I want people when they come in here, we've got Christian music on the radio, and, you know, and I want them to feel that this is someplace unique, someplace special. There's something going on here more than just selling art. And so that's, you know, I've got great people that work with me and work for me here, and it's a great place to work, and it's a great place to just showcase. And so the more we get the word out, the more people come, I think it gives me a chance to just express myself to them about what I am, who I am, and what God has allowed me to do, and share that blessing with others. And people spend money. People actually buy my. That's so I get to live out my dream.
Duane, can
Yes,
you
sir.
show us some more of those fish?
Sure.
Go
sure.
10 o'clock up on the wall, the half fish and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Tell 'em
These
what
are
you can
wood
do with the
carvings.
fish.
Okay, these are wood carvings, and I've started doing these. I've got a friend that helps me a little bit with them now, just so we can, you know, each one is individually done. But in the old days, in lodges like in England and Scotland, Ireland, places like that, you know, they ate the fish when they caught it, and they brought it in. They celebrated. They laid it down on a big piece of board and took charcoal and traced around the fish, and then the chef, he would take it off to make this big celebratory meal. And then from that charcoal outline, a carver would carve these beautiful renditions, a replica, if you would, out of wood that would hang in those lodges. And I've seen some of those over in Ireland, Scotland, England, and they are beautiful. And they were done before the days of power tools. And these guys were just using knives and wood grass and everything back in that day, and they're beautiful things. So I'm trying to revive that tradition a little bit with some of these. So those are carved out of wood and then hand painted, and so we offer those here.
Duane, can you do a fish for a kid? Say if a kid catches a fish, what do you need to make a replica of it for them?
You want it in fiberglass, okay, which is the most realistic. Brianna here showed this on the table here. This is a fiberglass of a pair of brown trout, and done in what's called a habitat diorama. If you want that level, that is $20 an inch, and I need a photograph and a length measurement from you, and then we can do that. Now, if you want it done as a wood carving, like this right here, you know, that's just carved out of a big old, I go down to we got a mill down here by the river that does all kinds of trusses and everything, and I go through their scrap pile and get big old chunks of pine and draw out a fish on them, and then using my carving tools, we carve out these fish and paint those. So we can do that if you want, and we sell those at anywhere from $10 to about $15 an inch or something like that. So but pretty much all I need from you is a photograph of your fish, and if you know the length of it, if you want to be exact, you know, the length is important, but I can look at the photograph and get pretty close. It's kind of funny on that with fishermen. I never get any flack from anybody if I get it an inch, 2, even 3 inches too big. But you get it a half inch short, they'll let you know. Something about that. My fish are bigger than that, they always say.
So I see on the wall over there, catfish, crappie. You can do just about anything, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've done a lot of saltwater fish for some guys down in Florida. I did for an office at a bank down in Florida, and then I did for a big attorney down there. I did what's called the Super Slam, which was snook, redfish. I see he wanted snook, redfish, permit, and bonefish, and I think tarpon that I did for him. And so now we've got a little tarpon down here. We got tarpon in Texas anyway. So, anyway, hopefully this is something that you know a little bit more about me and what I do and the area where I live. I'm definitely a very enthusiastic outdoorsman, woodsman, and lover of nature. And that's why, you know, you paint what you paint best anyway, what you have a passion for. And so obviously look at my art and you can get a pretty good, we've got a whole nother room here. What time are we getting together? We're about to wrap this up. Or?
You're doing fine on time. You've been just at 30 minutes. Hey, one last question.
Yes, sir.
One last question. If we have a painting that a picture that we really desire to be put into a painting, can you do that, or have you done that for people?
Oh yeah, I've one of the Waltons here in Arkansas. They're all up in the Bentonville, Rogers area, and they had a farm anyway up in there, and they have a beautiful scene on it. And I painted a big picture for one of their offices up in Bentonville, and from a photo that they sent me. I had a lady just in this morning. She had a very little small old snapshot of the house she was born in, and it was just a little old cabin type house out here in the woods, and it's the only photo she had of it. And she would like me to, from that small old photo anyway, recreate a scene with that house in it. So I'm working on that for her at some point. And yes, we can do that. You know, just it doesn't have to be a great quality photo, but at least something where I can tell, you know, what the subject matter is. But yeah, we can do that. I do that a lot. Those are called commission pieces. Okay. You know, my work that I do, I'm painting every day that I'm not out, you know, hunting or fishing or taking some of the boys out. I'm in the studio here painting, or I'm out plein air painting, which means to go out and paint, you know, on location. I do a fair amount of that too. And I compete sometimes in these big plein air painting events, big competitions and that type of thing. But
Last question.
Yes,
Last
sir.
Question. How did you discover your talent, and when did you discover it was a God-given talent?
Sure. Well, and understand, I believe art can be taught, and not to take anything away from a God-given talent, but as far back as I can remember, I was that kid that always, you know, anytime there was a pencil or a crayon or a chalkboard, I had to be scribbling and doodling and doing something. Now, I wasn't any good. You know, I wasn't born a prodigy, if that's what you want to say. I mean, but I had a very strong desire, and I'm a very observant person. It's amazing. I can walk because I'm very alert and observant to that. So I don't have better vision than anybody else.
We're getting bad reception right there.
Okay. All right. How about now? Is that better? Is that better? How about there?
There you go.
Okay, I'll stand still. So I think art can be taught, but it's just like math or science or anything like that in school. Some people are going to do better in certain subjects than others. I was the one that was very visual and very observant. So, you know, I'd always hurry up and get my test done so I could flip it over and draw a picture on the back of it. That's the kind of student I was. I think my 5th grade report card says on it, to this day, I have it. It says, Duane needs to spend less time drawing in class and more time working on his math skills. And so we find that a little humorous in my family, but it's, so I guess you're asking the question. I was drawing from a young age, but I was also very frustrated because the small rural schools I went to, you know, I mean, we have barely 200 students, kindergarten through 12th grade in these small mountain rural schools around here, and they didn't teach any art. So I didn't have any art until I got to college. I went to college to study fisheries and wildlife management. And about my sophomore year, I'm like, okay, not sure if I'm going to stick with this or whatever. And I took a basic drawing class they were offering just more out of boredom. And I mean, it was like putting gas to the fire. It was like, this is what I'm supposed to be. This is my real passion. And suddenly all that knowledge and training put into all those years of frustrated trying made sense. And I just went to, I mean, I still, when my university alma mater and they had their 100th year anniversary, they invited me back to represent the art department as their top student anyway. That was quite an honor anyway. So, and they actually hung one of my big paintings. They bought it from me, didn't have to do it endowment anyway, to put in their permanent collection there and everything. So I worked hard at it, but I want to work hard at it. To me, this is not work. When I paint, it's pure joy. And so, you know, find something you love, something you want to be good at, throw yourself into it, but honor God through it, and He'll honor you through it. And that's my story that I'm writing, and that's the story I want to share, and that's the story I want to leave with you. So if any of you young ones out there have interest in drawing, I'm not the most high-tech guy, as you probably figured out by now, but I'll figure out some way to communicate with you. I'll help you any way I can, and would love to share whatever I can to help you along. Show me some samples of what your drawings are, and I can help you along. Look, I would love to do that. Do that with students all the time. Hopefully it's been fun and entertaining to you. Get to know you a little better. You get to know me a little better, and you live your life, write your story.